The much-anticipated Trilateral Summit between the U.S., Philippines, and Japan has now concluded here at the White House in Washington, D.C. Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., U.S. President Joe Biden, and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida discussed strategies that all three countries will implement to further the alliance of the three countries.
Today, we mark a historic moment, the first ever Leaders Summit between the United States, Japan, and the Philippines. And it's truly an honor to have you both here as we begin this new era of partnership.
The President mentions that there are three key areas where the three nations are deepening ties today. First, technology and clean energy.
For securing our semiconductor supply chain, to expanding trusted telecommunications in the Philippines, to building a clean energy workforce, to expanding our cooperation across the entire board.
Second, by deepening maritime and security ties in the region.
And I want to be clear, the United States defense commitments to Japan and to the Philippines are ironclad. They're ironclad. As I've said before, any attack on Philippine aircraft, vessels, or armed forces in the South China Sea would invoke our mutual defense treaty.
Third key area that Biden mentions is the first economic charter in the Philippines and in the Indo-Pacific as part of the G7's partnership in global infrastructure investments.
I'm proud to announce we're launching an economic corridor in the Philippines as part of the G7's partnership for global infrastructure and investment. This is the first corridor in the Indo-Pacific. It means more jobs for people across the entire region. It means more investment in sectors critical to our future: clean energy, ports, railroads, agriculture, and much more.
Meanwhile, Marcos says the summit is a shared vision of a stable, peaceful Indo-Pacific. He says it is a partnership for and not out of convenience nor of expediency.
But this meeting can be just a beginning. Facing the complex challenges of our time requires concerted efforts on everyone's part, a dedication to a common purpose, and an unwavering commitment to the rules-based international order. We seek to identify ways of growing our economies and making them more resilient, climate-proofing our cities and our societies, sustaining our development progress, and forging a peaceful world for the next generation. Today's summit is an opportunity to define the future that we want and how we intend to achieve it together.
Japan's Fumio says, amid this world that faces complex crises, multi-layered cooperation with allies and like-minded countries is important.
Japan, the U.S., and the Philippines are maritime nations connected by the Pacific Ocean and are natural partners. We share fundamental values and principles and have supported regional economic development. In order to secure peace and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific, I hope to reaffirm our intention to further strengthen trilateral cooperation and to present the specific way forward through today's meeting.
Philippine Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo meets with his Japanese counterpart Kamikawa Yoko here in Washington ahead of the trilateral meeting between President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., U.S. President Joe Biden, and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida at the White House. Manalo says this meeting with Japan comes at an opportune time to go over the progress of the two countries' relationship since they last met in December and to plan on strengthening it further. Meanwhile, Kamikawa says the Japanese government is open to discussing ways to further deepen international cooperation with the Philippines and the U.S. She mentions the power of layers and layers of cooperation among the U.S., Philippines, and Japan in securing international order and economic development in the region. As the Trilateral Summit concludes, a renewed and stronger alliance between the Philippines, the U.S., and Japan has been reaffirmed as the three countries move forward in dealing with issues concerning the Indo-Pacific region. These include furthering the region's economy as the three nations commit to deeper cooperation. From the White House, here in Washington, D.C., Jeff Sanidad for Net 25 News.